Last time on Rolling with Remix, Fallen Empires. Having defeated Von Tharm and looted the treasure from his hoard, our heroes decided to hole up, rest, and identify what they had. The rest was quite eventful. Firstly, on Malaphane's watch, he saw some Mi-Go flying by, the same creatures from Dragotha's lair, though they seemed, as per usual, interested in observation and not combat. Secondly, Raxidal and Corellian heard the chanting of several humanoids in deep speech, and looking out the window to observe them, found that they were moving through the streets, swinging incense and conducting some sort of ritual, but none of them had any faces. Lastly, the rest was interrupted by some kind of creature, smelling their blood through the floors and walls of the apartment, and nearly breaking in. Momo, with a surge of chaotic energy, asked if it was a smart idea to fight this creature, and, after learning it was not, immediately turned tail and ran, the rest of the party following close behind, thus avoiding combat with the creature right before it could hunt them down. Deciding their best call would be to deal with Zunkira now, our heroes rang the summoning bell, filling the streets with swarms of writhing insects. They crept along, trying to avoid detection, with Momo burning out clusters of eggs as they went, investigating first a temple that had been hollowed out and turned into some kind of spider's nest. Although, in investigating what was left, they found some flyers talking about repenting sinners, how the envy of the lower classes for those in the upper class had blinded them to the rage that suffers within, and that darkness had been made manifest, though our heroes had no idea what that darkness could be. Rather than deal with a giant spider that was feasting on a corpse in the middle of the temple, our heroes investigated the art gallery instead, finding inside a Fey woman trapped inside of a painting that could only be released if a willing form was to be put in her place, as she similarly seemed to have a beef with Rankol, who put her there in the first place. Our heroes decided they would help her out by, of all things, casting a spell so they could talk to the giant spider from earlier, enchanting the giant spider from earlier, which took multiple attempts, and tricking that giant spider into entering the painting, which, thanks to the rules of magic and the phrasing of the imprisonment, worked. And so, having freed the Fey woman, our heroes fled the gallery and went down back into the temple, where they found what looked like the beginnings of a massive hive being built. An ever-present drone that had been inside their heads for quite some time grew louder and louder and more insistent, and while some were able to fight off the effects, Zutzag, Corellian, and Raxidal all failed, and saw visions of those that were close to them, asking what they were doing. What do the visions want? Will our heroes be able to escape this hive and defeat the Hive Queen? And will there ever be a plan as bullshit as that spider painting one? Find out on tonight's episode of Rolling with Remix, Fallen Empires.